Hi everyone, welcome to Glow with Grace. Today I wanted to share with you some of our top DVD choices for DVDs to do with pregnancy, birthing, parenting kind of stuff. So there was definitely a lot more books that we accessed than DVDs in our preparation for bringing a child into the world, but there are definitely some DVDs that we really loved, and I'm gonna talk about 8 things today. Didn't quite make the 10. So these are going to be in not any particular order again, and I only have a few of them here to actually show you in the physical because, as usual, people are borrowing them around here. So here we go. The first one is Birth as We Know It by our dear friend Elena Vadirimova. Birth as We Know It was the first film on this kind of subject that I had ever seen, on the idea of natural parenting, natural birthing, those kind of things. And this was, gosh, I feel like it was like 2007 I saw it at the Raw Food Film Festival in Hollywood, and it absolutely blew my mind. I don't think I'd really thought much about natural pregnancy, birthing, parenting until that point, a little bit, you know, here and there. But this DVD for me just completely blew my reality open to seeing the difference between a kind of standard hospital birth, kind of stressful setting, which of course I understand hospital births aren't always stressful, but that kind of thing, compared to how natural birth can be, especially some of the footage of people giving birth naturally in the, oh man, is it the Black Sea, the Red Sea? In Russia, I can't remember which one it is. Black Sea. So yeah, giving birth out there, this kind of like birth camp, in like totally in nature. It completely blew my mind. I was absolutely mesmerized and just, you know, in tears. I couldn't believe what I was seeing and understanding. And it changed my life, completely changed my life, and completely changed the course of our lives as potential parents and now as parents. We went on a course with Elena, the director. We really love her and everything that she's doing. My kind of main outlook on what it is that Elena is doing is that she is seeking for a new kind of reality to be embodied here on Earth, one kind of gentle birth at a time. So, you know, she sees that the kind of old paradigm, men in suits, corporations, blah, blah, blah kind of thing, isn't really the way to go for our optimal well-being. And trying to kind of dismantle that isn't maybe the best way forward. And, you know, we're starting right from people's births, we can kind of change everything. So it's an amazing DVD, in my opinion. And, you know, if I could only recommend one, it would probably be that one, actually. It's very long, there's tons of footage. Yeah, amazing. Birth as We Know It. Okay, the other ones, what have we got here? Happiest Baby on the Block. Dr. Harvey Karp, I think his name is. So this is a book and a DVD, and then there's also other ones. People were telling me there's now Happiest Toddler on the Block and things like that. So the Happiest Baby on the Block book and DVD were both super helpful to us in terms of learning how to soothe an upset baby. So, you know, swaddling and shh sounds and rocking and all those kind of things. I read the book first, and that was really helpful. The DVD was also really helpful to actually see stuff in practice, you know, to see people calming babies down in practice was really helpful. If you were pushed for time, I would probably say just watch the DVD because, you know, it's visual and so you're immediately impacted by it without having to read an entire book. I appreciated using both, just, you know, kind of reminding myself and fleshing out the details. Yeah, that one was really helpful. I don't know how we would have survived the first months, especially without knowing how to swaddle. Babies, the Babies DVD. This is such a sweet one. I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen it. It's just called Babies, and it's a documentary following the life of 4 babies around the world in very different settings. One of them is somewhere in Africa, one of them's in Mongolia, one is in Japan, and one is in the US. And I think it's from birth to a year old. the documentary follows these 4 babies' lives, and there's pretty much almost no speaking in the whole thing. It's just all this imagery and insight into the lives of these 4 different babies around the world, and it's so beautiful. The music's so beautiful, the imagery is so beautiful, and it's so interesting to see the differences in the way that the children are being brought up. I mean, it's just like cringeworthy watching some of the different contrasts. For us, the baby in Africa was the one that spoke to our hearts the most, and you know, we just really loved that. And some of the other parts of the film, we were just, oh my God, just watching things that happen in babies' lives. Yeah, I would really recommend that one, Babies. And while we're going through these, I want to mention that, of course, I understand that there are many other DVDs, films, documentaries and stuff on this kind of theme. I just don't necessarily feel to recommend some of them, because personally I have issues with watching very traumatic scenes about, you know, hospital issues, interventions, you know, what's it called? Circumcision, vaccination, all of that kind of like traumatic stuff that happens with children in the early years. I'm very aware of all that stuff that goes on, and personally I don't enjoy having that visually imprinted into my consciousness. In books I tend to skip over those kind of sections, and that's much easier and it's just text, you know, but when it's in a film and suddenly there's just something there in front of you, to me, I don't really enjoy being exposed to that kind of stuff. I don't want that to make up a lot of my reality. So yeah, I understand that there's all these other things, the other DVDs and stuff that I could be talking about, but they're not necessarily something that I would really recommend looking at. Okay, so what else? Dunstan baby language. I'm sure a lot of you know about that as well. If you don't, you can put that into Google or something and watch some quick little videos about Dunstan baby language, and you can get a whole DVD explaining the whole thing and with a lot of different examples. So this is something that a woman in Australia discovered, that all babies around the world, no matter, you know, their race, their parents' background, their anything, they all make the same 5 sounds, and it's because of different reflexes in their bodies that are producing the different sounds. And one is for that they're hungry, one is that they're sleepy, one is that they're uncomfortable. You know, there's 5 different sounds, and it's really amazing, and this really helped us a lot with Araya in the beginning as well. The one that she made the most, the sound that she made the most was neh, which is hungry, and she would always neh, and we called her the neister. So Dunstan baby language, very cool to know about. Orgasmic birth, this is a DVD, kind of self-explanatory name, about the idea that birth does not need to be some kind of painful, traumatic experience. It can be gentle and beautiful and even orgasmic in some cases. Also in the Birth As We Know It DVD, there's footage of this kind of thing, you know, women having really amazing births and even orgasmic births. So yeah, orgasmic birth is just all about that, kind of exposing the other side of birth that, you know, in mainstream culture it's kind of seen as this traumatic thing and it's like a disease or something, and that actually we can have a completely different perspective on birth. So that's orgasmic birth. Nappy free, I actually have, I have orgasmic birth here, look, there it is. The best kept secret. Nappy free, this little one. This is really cool. A lot of you probably know that we're raising Araya nappy free, diaper free. She does not wear nappies or diapers, she never has. We're doing elimination communication with her, it's sometimes known as. And this is, I think this is from New Zealand or Australia, Australia. And it's like, I think it's like 25 minutes long, and it's just a really sweet little insight into real families doing nappy free, diaper free with their children, and just tiny little tips that you might not otherwise think of, or you know, if you're asking somebody about it, they might not think of to say, but because they were like making it into a documentary, it's like they got all these beautiful little gems of information and put them all together. Yeah, just a really simple little insight into real life living nappy free. And then the last one here, Birth into Being, the Russian water birth experience. This is also footage of those, it probably says on here, Black Sea, birthing in the Black Sea in Russia. These amazing natural water births that were going on. I don't know if they still go on at birthing camps in Russia. So this is, yeah, all about water birth and raising children naturally, all that kind of stuff. So that's 7 DVDs that I would recommend. And then I wanted to also give a cheeky plug to our parenting summit that we put on last year, the Conscious Parenting Summit. You can go to consciousparentingsummit.com. This was a free online summit that we did, interviewing more than 20 different kind of experts in this field of natural birth, natural pregnancy, natural parenting, all that kind of stuff. And there were some audio interviews in there were some video interviews, just tons of really high quality information about every different aspect of pregnancy, birthing, early parenting. And you can access that through consciousparentingsummit.com. It's not free anymore, it's a paid access now. And yeah, there's like hours and hours and hours of stuff in there if you want to check that out, consciousparentingsummit.com. So there we go. That's my tips for DVDs and kind of some audios in there as well. And if you have some other ones that you want to mention that hopefully aren't full of kind of traumatic imagery, then let us know about it in the comments, and I hope this was helpful. Ciao!